Hey guys, Jeddah10 aka Jed here, and welcome to Rider Critique. So this is basically a series of videos where I take my snowboard students and take some footage that they've recorded doing a 360, a 50-50 board slide, whatever the trick is. Then I point out where they can improve, what things they're doing right, what things they're doing wrong. And basically by looking at what other people are doing and where they can fix their riding, I find a lot of people make the same mistakes. So you'll be able to say, hey, I'm making that same mistake with my spinning. This is why I don't get enough rotation in my spin. This is why I fall when I try to do a frontside board slide. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into the riding critique. Alright, so let's get into this episode of Riding Critique. So in this episode, we're looking at just a whole bunch of butter and 180 combinations, and then in the second section, we're going to be looking at I think some jumps. So what I really like about this video is there's not a lot for me to critique. So it's one of those rare cases where I'll get a video and think, he's already doing all the right things. And I'll play this in the background and you see, and I'll explain why. So I'm going to focus a lot more on why his riding's so smooth and he's doing the right things and why I like this video so much. And yeah, I'll just focus on why he's able to do that instead of so much critiquing his riding, because as you see, there's not a whole lot to critique. He's doing a lot of the right things already. So what I really like about this guy's riding is it's very in control, and it's all about the body position. So he doesn't have a huge amount of power. So you notice in some of his butters, he doesn't really press it super hard, or he could be pressing more, but those are minor tweaks he can add later. What he has already is the body positioning, the control, the ability to maneuver his board in the way he wants it to go, and adding more power to his butters and a little bit more press and all of that. That's simple stuff, that's like adding +1 once you've learned how to add 2 + 2. Once you learn addition, it's really easy to just start adding numbers in your head. So he's got all the basics, which is what I really like. A lot of times people focus so much on power, so they'll think, okay, I really got to pop super hard, I really got to really huck it with my upper body when I want to spin. And no, it's if you get the basics right, get the body positioning right, get the pop right, get all the small little things right, you notice, like, watch this guy's riding. It's what I call quiet, in that he doesn't have a lot of wasted movement. And in snowboarding, it's not so much about what you should be doing, but what you shouldn't be doing in a lot of cases. If you look at a lot of my riding critique videos, it's almost all the time I'm pointing out what they need to stop doing instead of what they need to be doing, okay? So it's always wasted movements. It's all those hand wavings, all those other things that tend to throw off tricks. But you notice with this guy, he's very in control. All his body movements and he leads with his upper body and his spins. It's just very textbook. And even though he's not spinning 540s or anything like that, it's these little things that make his tricks so smooth in this butter section. So yeah, I mean, what can I really say when a guy has got all his all his technique right? And yeah, you see, like, he did a little poke there. Let's show that again, because that was smooth. I'll go back a bit. Okay, so he did a little poke here, and this is the things that you can start adding once you have control of your snowboard and your upper body. So he poked it, he kind of stalled out that 180 a little bit on the backside 180. But I mean, yeah, this is why you notice that in the Snowboard Trick Secrets members area, everything I teach is focused on these basics, these fundamentals of just 180s, small 180s, small pops. Okay, so we're getting into the second section, but before we do, I'll just explain. So everything I always teach is focused on these little things: body positioning, where you need to be looking, the carve line. And it's not about doing big tricks, 540s, 720s, 900s. All of that will come later. And trust me, this guy is in a position of what I call the ideal position, because he may not be doing 720s and all that stuff, but he's got his 180s pretty much perfected. He's got the technique right. Okay, so I guess that's enough on that. So let's have a look at the second section now, which is just basic jumps. And you see he doesn't do too much in his jumping as well. It's very quiet with his upper body, very quiet movements. So here you have a look, he'll drop in, he'll do his setup carves, and I think the only thing I can really point out with his jumps and his carving is he has a habit of drifting to the left or to the right of the jump, and that's simply because he how do I explain this? He basically he doesn't really add angle to his entry lines on his carves. So I'll point it out. I think on the next one you really see it happen. So okay, so besides adding a little bit more speed, I think let's have a look at that again. Yeah, so he just barely cleared the knuckle there. In general, with 9 out of 10 videos I see, a little bit more speed will help. So if you land a little bit further down the landing, it's usually a lot easier to land rather than a lot of people, they just knuckle it or just barely clear the knuckle. And a lot of times speed will help a little bit, especially with these slightly, once you start to move to these slightly bigger jumps, you really don't want to knuckle, it hurts. So more speed, but I mean, that's a minor thing really. So as I was saying, he has this habit. Okay, so notice here, he's coming in, he's got his carve line set. But okay, notice here he's coming in straight, but he's doing a spin. And you notice he's going to drift to the right of the jump once he takes off. So he takes off, spins, drifts to the right. So he lands towards the right. So what happens is, this isn't really wrong, it's just, it explains the reasoning why whenever I teach spin, you always come in at an angle. So I got my freestyle max here, you tend to always want to come in at an angle, so that when you carve to do your spin up the jump, it doesn't send you off to the left or to the right of the jump. So if you come in a straight line, which is what's happening here, and then you carve, it's going to send you towards the left or towards the right of the jump when you carve. So that's just why you tend to want to come in at an angle for jumps. It's not a major thing. You even see some pros drift to the left or to the right, but it's just one of those things where if you got a tight runway, tight landing situation, you really want to get those angles correct so that you don't drift off the landing and hit a tree or something. Yeah, so that's just a minor critique though. But yeah, as I said, I do like the rest of his riding though. It's all very in control and very no wasted movement is basically what I like to say about his riding. Yeah, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and yeah, I mean, not too much critique I could really do about this video, but just I think it helps to just explain to you guys why good riders look the way they are, and it's because of that quiet upper body, the body positioning it's just mastering of the basic fundamentals. So I think it really showed. I'll just we'll just play his starting bit again. It really shows in his starting section, in that he really has those 180s mastered, and when you get those 180s mastered and those basic butters mastered, you have a lot of edge control and control over your body movements, and that really helps with everything else that he does. Once you have that, the 360s, the 540s, the 720s, that's all simple once you have that basic control. So yeah, fundamentals, get those fundamentals right. All right, so I hope you guys found that useful, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care. All right, so if this type of riding and video analysis is something you'd be interested in getting yourself, so say you want me to look at your riding videos and say, this is what you're doing wrong, this is where you can improve, this is why you're not getting the rotation here, or whatever your problem may be, then you can get started with our free Snowboard Trick Secrets program here. You can check it out. There's a few free videos for you to watch and get started with Snowboard Freestyle. All right, so take care, and I hope to see you guys inside the program.